Okay, on this radio here, I had it for about a couple of years. And I haven't monkeyed with it much. It has a loop antenna, so that has to be connected. Otherwise, your automatic gain control doesn't work, and you don't get your path for the I think grid number 3 in the mixer oscillator tube and the control grid of the IF, first IF. This one only has one IF, I would assume. So apparently in the past I disconnected this. It probably hooked up to the AC, I'm assuming, and then to the chassis. It looks to me like it's hooking up to this orange wire though. This capacitor is suspended. I'm not sure why. Maybe for the negative voltage. I doubt that though, because it's probably suspended because this is probably for protection. This has probably got a capacitor. You know, they'll put the capacitor from the chassis to negative, a protective capacitor. But this one is to the one side of the AC. And they always do things half-ass backwards. They put it so neutral goes through the switch and then goes to your common negative. Then when you break the switch to shut it off, then AC will flow around the filaments and swing back. Usually on a 5-tube radio. So I don't know about this kind of a deal. I don't have the schematic for it, so but that's usually the rule of the thumb. They put the neutral to the switch, so when you break it, neutral is no longer in an existent. I don't know why they do that. I think that's where the phrase Widowmaker comes from. So down here, it looks like we have a 100K, 22K, 3.9 meg, 47K, 10 meg. There's the 3.9 meg, the 22K. And down here, I'm not sure. It might be a 100 ohm resistor. Brown, black. Oh, there's a blue, I think. 10 meg. Blue, I think. That's probably on the control grid of the first audio amp. That's probably the first audio, the triode and the diode for the detector, I would assume. I don't know. This is the, well, maybe not, because this is the, well, here's the awesome mixlator right there. That would be, I'd assume, the IF, going from this IF to that IF transformer, then to the first audio amp and the detector circuit, and over here is the audio output, the 3V4. I don't think there's any more tubes. What's that? That's the, let me feel on the other side what that is. I don't feel nothing. I feel a terminal board for hooking stuff up. But this is the one. I don't know if this has the capacitor going from chassis to minus, wherever minus is. Minus would be, I would assume, this outside shell of this capacitor, the filtering capacitor. So this is like filtering the B plus it's filtering the filaments. It's got the filibuster thing going on. This thing here might be that plug where the AC plug comes in to switch it from AC to DC. Audio output transformer. So here's your 2 prongs there. This radio picks up my, was it 1260 very, very good. Right now, this is usually my best radio for that channel. Right now it's coming in. Well, this is church, and this woman's probably 50 feet away from the microphone. They're very bright to put a microphone in front of some people. Anyway, so it works. It seems to pick up that channel really well. Oh, here is might be a 33 ohm. Let me get a flashlight. Got to pause here. So this is going to be my best radio for picking up this channel. That's a 33 ohm. It's a black. It's not a. If that black was missing, then it would be 3.3 ohms and percentage. This don't have a percentage, so 33 ohms. There's a 1K. I didn't finish doing this, and a 470K on the back side of that 1K. So I would assume that's the control grid resistor. This 820 ohm resistor. I'm debating on what that's for. I think it either has something to do with the filaments, the filibuster, or the cathode resistor for the. No, there ain't a cathode in these radios. Well, the filament is a cathode. So this is probably to the minus, which interacts as the cathode, which filibustered it does the sneaky Pete, and you got your bypass capacitor here to complete the sneaky Pete. Best I can come up with at this time. I'm not too familiar with these kind of radios, but I know the filaments act as the cathode, and so I imagine there's like 820 ohm from the center tap. The 3V4 has a center tap, so the center tap has maybe got this 820 ohm resistor. Is that what it is? 820 ohms. Let's verify. 820 ohms without the filibuster. If you do the filibuster, then we got to add in thievery fees for theft of ohms. Because with the filibuster and the way things run, there's going to be thievery. Big thievery on them ohms. So there's your 470K back there, which probably hooks up to the control grid of the 3V4, which is probably there. They wrap 2 turns around there for good luck. I'm going to leave this in it. I had a radio like this a long time ago. I still have my pink one. I think it's actually red but faded. I had this one. I actually tore it apart because of the problem. It had one of those black case capacitors, solid case with the bands, color bands around them. I guess they refer to them as what do you call insect, the bee thing, the killer bees, resist capacitor. Anyways, I must have disconnected that from this side of the hot, because I remember that one. What were they called? Can't think of the term right now. But anyways, that split apart and was blowing oil all over the place. It blew oil all over the inside of the radio. It was a wooden radio, wood inside, good wood too. You know, it was a decent made radio. I don't remember what it was. I used it for a lot of years. And this has a resistor on the back of it. You know, probably for the, I don't know how it creates the little bit of voltage for the filaments. So I think it's 6. These are series strung. I was looking at it. It's got some resistors from the filaments going to the negative, I guess. Look at here. They even used a shielded cable from the IF, or the detector section, to the volume control. Don't see that too often. The only time you see that is if I build something, then you see shielded cable anywhere I can put it. So this is the radio. That works pretty dang good. I have another chassis floating around like this. I can't find it. I was actually looking for that chassis. But then I found this radio. I forgot about this radio too, but I know I have that red, or it's pink now, or it was pink. That other one I think is the RCA Victor, I think, but I have that put away. I also, you know, put a better capacitor, and I probably put a yellow jacket in that one. I'm not sure what I had at the time. I might have just thrown a filibuster in it. I'm not sure. That's way back when I drank, so I could have filibustered it. I'm not sure. This radio, I'm gonna try to restuff these capacitors. These, you know, this one obviously you'd need a drill press. I don't have a shop anymore, so I don't even have access to a drill press. So that'd be pretty hard and risky for me to hold that in my hands and drill a bunch of holes in to clear that without busting this outer sleeve. I'd have to wrap something around it to, you know, make it sturdy, and it'd probably take the ink off it anyways. But these kind here I should be able to drill out, and that's probably a 0.01. This is probably a 0.047. So it seems to be 0.047s in here. This one's a 0.047, but I'd assume it's rated at 600 volts, and this is probably 200 volts or something. Yeah, 200 volts. This one here, I don't know. Could be the same. I'm not sure. This one here, now I haven't flipped this around. I think this capacitor, it looks like it's separated from the chassis, but I'm still not sure on this because I got this heavy wire going from there. Let me see. I'm trying to hold this back up so it don't break. My left hand here. And then we have this here hooking up there, which could be the back side of the loop antenna bit. So there's that 100K. I don't know how to read these. That's very small picofarads, I guess. Mini microfarads, picofarads. So I'll flip it around. And look at the front. But I just wanted to do this. I'll pause this a bit. Here's what the speaker looks like. I haven't ripped it yet. I'm trying to, but it's bulletproof. I'm trying to rip this speaker, but it's bulletproof. Looks like it's been hit by a beam from the backside. So this side's broken. I know when I purchased this, it was broken. I knew that. I'm trying to prevent this side from breaking. So this might be, I don't think these IF cans can get the silver mica disease. There's where that bit was underneath that I was trying to feel and see what it was. So here's where the AC plug plugs in to change it for DC operation. There's the capacitor insulated for some reason. There's the loudspeaker. Seems to work well. I don't turn it up a lot because of fragileness. I think a 1R, what was it? 1R5 over here. Right? 1R5 it says, then the 1T4, which is there. And then the 1U5, which is this one, right side of the speaker magnet. And the 3V4 right there. So I think that 820 ohm is in the center tap of that. I'm just assuming. I have not a clue. Then your 3 batteries, AB battery. I think it's 6 volts and your 45 or 90 volts, whatever it is. I'm not sure. I can't pick the plug thing up because I can't let go of this. Not at this time. It'll break. I can't lay this down. That's what people do. They lay it down. I think this is made to seat a battery in there when it's vertically up. Then this will just, be L-shaped on your bench or table or whatever. But people put it face down and then they break this, I think. But that can be glued. So I should probably put a different capacitor in here. It may or may not. I'm not sure. It's working right now. It works beautiful, except for it quits working. I forgot about that. I have my note. No, it does have problems. I forgot because I had it running. I wasn't by it today. Well, it was warming up. Yeah, it has a problem, but I want to try to diagnose this problem versus then just cut all the capacitors out and recap it. I don't want to just do that. I want to see if I can figure out where it is, what's going on. I believe the oscillator's still working, the mixer oscillator, because I hear a hiss. I think if that wasn't functioning, I would not hear the hiss, but I'm not sure on that because it could be just a noisy first IF amp here causing the hiss. I'm not sure. I didn't measure any resistors, and I'm not going to. I'm just going to make up lies as I go. It's a nice speaker for a filibuster speaker. I'm trying to seat this thing in this way. It doesn't go this way. But I noticed this one could have silver mica disease. Could get it. This one probably not. I thought both the cans were that kind. This can get silver mica disease, that style. This here probably has a mica capacitor or one like that little white one inside of there. We'll go back to that white one inside because I gotta flip this further. So you got that little white one. It might be one of those styles in this era of the 1900s. Yeah, this radio here is from the 1900s, believe it or not. This is from the 1900s. I don't know if there's a date. I think it was, I went on the Google thing and looked at a page, and I think it said like 1953, but I'm not sure. I'm not too into going on the internet. I have the internet right now on this phone, but as the 2nd of next month, it's going to be gone, and I'm not going to pay for it again. I look at it too much, and it gives me a sore neck. I have arthritis in my left side of my neck and shit. I'm going to be 66 years old, and staring at a little cell phone too much is a real pain in the ass. So this little, that other can could have this style capacitor in it. I'm not going to sign off on it, but I just assume. So again, we got looks like 680 ohms to the right of that 100K, which I didn't notice before. We got the 100K. We got that small picofarads or mini microfarads. Depends on what side of the pond you're on. I think over in England area, they were picofarads, and stupid America was mini microfarads or fractions. I need a 1664. You say, I want the next size smaller than a 1664. You got to figure out what the hell it is. The other side of the pond had better smarts back in the day. 22K, 3.9 meg. 470K on the back side, 1K on the top side, 820 ohms there. all the half watts. We have that 1 watt, 33 ohms. We have that. The filibuster rectifier. Paper capacitors, paper, tinfoil / insulator. It might be a mica capacitor there. I'm not sure what that is, what I'm seeing there. On the top side of the output transformer. That could be a mica capacitor. I didn't notice it before. It probably is, but I can't take my left hand off, otherwise this is going to drop, and then I'm going to have a problem with that. And that's a bitch to get in and out. You know, I don't know what that's the idea of that is. Why you'd want to slide that out, because if you're going to service it, you can just nip those wires, service it, and then replace them, then leave a little bit of insulation so you know which side was which. Well, you could write blue, or you can't write a B and a B because it doesn't work. You could write a blue and a black. That works. And you don't have to worry about the filibuster. So this could be a mica sitting there. So that would probably be where, I'm not sure. Maybe it's from the control grid of the first IF. So this is the RF mixer oscillator. This is the triode with the diode, I would assume. So a detector in the first IF. This is probably the 3V4 on the left, I would assume. So this thing is by that one, which is what? That's the yeah. Wait a minute. Mixer oscillator. Where's the IF tube? What's that one? There's one right there. What is that? That must be the IF tube right there. Okay. You got your mixer oscillator tube right here. Your IF tube. And then you got the triode and diode up there, I guess. The 1U5. It's a pentode and a... Might be a pentode and a diode. It's not a triode, it's a pentode and a diode with a missing shield. And then the 3V4. So that's on the, whether it's just, it could be a triode with extra shielding, but then they wouldn't give you the shield. So it's got to be a pentode, I would assume. So that could be a mica. Mica. From the Rifleman. Mica from the Rifleman. Yeah, nickname. Yeah. So this is Origin Beginner's Corner on February 27th. I just looked. It's the 29th of 2026. So here's the plug. Red wire is broken, so I'd assume the red wire goes top dead center. Right there. Looks like solid core. Whoops. Looks like a solid core wire though versus stranded wire. I don't know. I'm just leaving it. Because I don't know what to do with it, if I should solder in there, if it's incorrect. But if that's putting the two halves of the batteries together for the 6.3 or whatever the 6-volt part is, and then the 50 or 45 or 90 volt, whatever that voltage is, I don't know. I would think it would say in here. Battery plug for battery operation. Insert power cord firmly in receptacle provided on chassis as showing, but it doesn't say. This gets the 1230, I think it is. Really good. Best radio that works for me for the 1230. At night, we get a whole bunch of skips, so I have my other radio. I want to maybe adjust the IF, see if I can knock out all this skip, except for watching other YouTubers to knock out the, with the IFs, knock out the unwanted stuff, noise and channels and skipping, especially at night. Boy, I get a lot of skip on the 1230 part of the up in the 4 digits. And there's all we get in where I live is 2 sports channels. One has political stuff, but very lazy political stuff, and a church channel and one other channel which is like new wave music, current music. And that's about it. They don't have any. This 13 or 1230 is what I try to listen to, but it's from a neighboring city, and I don't get it very good because they obviously the whatchamacallits, I can't say because of free speech, are ripping everybody off, charging everybody way too much money to be able to transmit, especially at night. And you know, it's a crazy thing. This is it. That's the chassis. I think I seen 1226 too in the. I don't know what's going on here. Looks like somebody is grinding. I bet you that was replaced. Somebody. That was replaced, I bet. It probably had rivets, and some guy was hand filing it. That looks like somebody was working with a flat file, pretty wide one, and put it that way. They should use at least a 3-corner file, and use a little more accuracy, or a rat tail file. Maybe put some tape, electrical tape around here. Back in the day, it would have to be electrical tape. So we had a very, very crude job there. I hope they show that to the customer. I would have. I said, well, I couldn't get that off, and I didn't want to rent a electric drill to drill it, so I hand filed it. Back in those days, drills might have been hard to get. Who knows? But whatever. Okay, I seated this back in. There's one screw that goes there. There's your volume, and these snap in to there and there. Where is it? Right there. I think I could see it. I can't tell. It's got controls in my way for touch controls. So this is it. This is the radio that works best right now for 12:30 a.m. We'll pick it up and see what it looks like. Kind of, been around the block. It's been in somebody's Chevy, in the backseat of somebody's Chevy on the floor, obviously. Kicked around a lot. So this is Orange Beginner's Corner on the side.